I had it on loop. Hello. Good morning. I don't really know how this is going to work. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Happy Halloween. It is Thursday, October 31st. I hope everybody is having a good start to their day. I started out with thinking that I did not put away my leftovers. I made a beautiful chicken pot pie yesterday, and I almost took a picture of it and posted it because it was so beautiful. I thought everybody needed to see it. Um, but then I realized that I watched a movie, went to bed while I was waiting for it to cool down. But So I was very disappointed when I woke up this morning. But my wonderful roommate actually put it away. So yay for him. He did good. I hope everybody's having a good start. I see you, Jen. I see you, Amanda. I appreciate y'all. Um, good morning, Tokyo. Well, good evening, since you're in Tokyo. Yeah, this is my first wig ever. I bought it off of Timu, so hopefully I don't get anything from it. I should have washed it, but that's okay. Man, I am with this red hair. I'm like extra pale, or is it my lighting? I am holy shit. I'm fucking pale. I don't know where my phone is, so I can double check myself, but yeah. So I have been watching Supernatural. I'm way behind with Supernatural. I know it like ended years ago, and I have not. Man, I don't normally have my light this. Like, my light is much darker, dimmed more than it normally is. There we go. Okay, I look more normal there. Okay. Um, so on Supernatural, Rowena is like my favorite. I love Rowena. I love her so much. I'm on season 15. I've been watching it every every day. I've been watching Supernatural. I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself once Supernatural's over. Jensen Ackles, I have a major crush on. He is very hot. And he has he had a brewery in Austin, and like once I found it, now it's gone. It just shut down. They used to have parties every year, and Jensen Ackles would be at those parties. But now I will never get to see him because the brewery's gone. So boo. But yeah, I'm on season 15 of Supernatural, and I'm almost done. It's the last season. But anyway, Tokyo, appreciate you being here. Carrie, Charmaine, hello. Yeah, I mean, I have red in my hair, just not like this. I'm naturally kind of red, but anyway. All right, so I was looking for some Halloween news to share, and like the amount of people that have fucked up other people's Halloween decorations. Holy shit. Like, I could have done just a whole episode on people destroying other people's Halloween decorations. That's how prevalent it is. I don't know what the hell is wrong with people. Like, I would love to decorate my house and have like crazy Halloween decorations. This little hair. I don't think I could do bangs. There's no way I could do bangs. No. Get out of my eyes. Eh. Yeah, there's no way I could wear a wig all day. No way. At least not with bangs. I got one with bangs because I don't know what I'm doing with wigs. So this is easier to hide. But I mean, it's not like it looks natural. But anyway, I figured I'd have some fun with you guys this morning. At work, we're doing like a costume contest and baking contest. I'm participating in neither. My department is doing, we're supposed to be minions together, but, and I thought my boss was getting us like special shirts, but it turned out she was just getting us yellow shirts. Um, so I just have a yellow shirt to wear today. So that's not really a costume. So I'm not going to win the Halloween costume. And Halloween costume contest at all because it's just jeans and a yellow shirt, and all of us are going to be jeans and a yellow shirt. So that's cool. Anyway, all right. So we are going to go ahead and get started. I'm talking too much. Don't have that much time. We don't have that luxury. So I think this was in Austin, Lakeway PD. No, this is Ohio. What am I talking about? Oh wait, no. This is the group was formed in Ohio. So Lakewood PD, this is the Austin area news station. So a group of men attacked uh attacked a suspected pedophile. A suspected pedophile. So the group is Dads Against Predators, DAP. DAP. All right, so let's jump into it.
5 men are being investigated after a planned and coordinated attack on a man at a Lakeway HEB who they believe to be a pedophile. This is according to police documents we just obtained.
A Lakeway PD says all of them are charged with engaging in organized criminal activity. Our Jayla Washington reports at least one of the suspects is affiliated with an online vigilante group.
A bloody swollen nose, bloody bare feet, and cuts on his limbs. That's how Lakeway police found a man after he was attacked here at this HEB in Lakeway, according to an affidavit.
These are just lawbreakers who have taken the law into their own hands, and there's no place for this in society.
It happened about a month ago, according to Lakeway PD. Police say the men filmed the lead up and the attack itself and posted it online. And police have since identified the man they attacked as a victim.
If you think that somebody has committed a crime against you or is committing a crime against children, you bring in law enforcement.
At least one of the men involved in the assault is affiliated with an online vigilante group called Dads Against Predators and is known for going after suspected pedophiles and posting graphic videos of the assaults on TikTok.
It's dangerous because they're not going to restore public order. They're actually going to make this a very complicated, multifaceted criminal justice problem.
And this specific assault from late September, witnesses called police saying a group of men were chasing an Indian male in the store and into the parking lot, calling him a pedophile. Investigators say the attack lasted nearly 5 minutes. The victim punched repeatedly in the face and his phone smashed on the ground.
You know, for people who don't feel like the criminal justice system is fair, what is your response to that for people who do feel like it is necessary to take matters into your own hands?
I would be very curious to see all of the steps they took before deciding to take the law into their own hands.
Jayla Washington, KXAN News.
The affidavit also revealed a similar incident happened at an Austin HEB store, but didn't say which one. Lakeway PD said in a statement it, quote, welcomes the public's assistance in detecting and preventing crime, but does not condone acts by the public that are geared towards seeking out violent resolutions to possible criminal conduct. It also says that more changes could come.
What changes? More changes could come. Okay, what changes? So I'm assuming that this is one of those groups that does the online chats and meets up with people. I've been seeing that more and more online. I'm only assuming because I have no idea. Apparently they don't even know either. So I don't know. Fun fact, I was on a jury for a internet sex crimes against children case that was a sting with the police department, luring somebody. So something that I've talked a lot about is the lack of police in Texas. This has been happening all over the country where most cities don't have enough police officers to respond to calls. Plus, there's more crime than there was a few years ago. So the hiring hasn't been able to keep up with all of that. So yeah, no, I'm good. I've Tokyo, I've read the chat. Yeah, the chat that I read when I was a juror is enough for me. I'm so good. But anyway, so in Chicago, Chicago is one of those areas that is having issues with police. not having enough police. So in Chicago, calls are just not being answered. I've experienced something similar when I lived in Houston. I would call the police and it would take them 4, 5, 6, 7 hours. One time I called for domestic violence and they did not show up at all. And it turned into a whole internal investigation and all that stuff. So this is happening in Chicago as well. And that's terrifying to think that you can call the police and they're not going to come.
WGN investigates police staffing troubles. The number of officers on the job in Chicago is at a record low.
And that's despite Mayor Brandon Johnson increasing CPD's budget and his promise.
So this video is 6 minutes long. So I am going to put it at 1.25. Your youngest was born with red hair but lost it. Oh, imagine a half Japanese kid is a natural redhead. That's funny. All right, let's put this at 1.25. I don't know why I have it as custom. I don't remember ever doing that, but okay.
To hire 200 new detectives. WGN investigative reporter Ben Bradley has found some of the mayor's claims on policing don't add up.
Looks like we got possibly a second victim here from this group of teens robbing people.
On many nights,
Unit 17, the citywide robbery in progress with the backlog, no cars available.
calls for help can go unanswered.
That's negative. We do not have a wagon available.
On the weekends during the holidays, it's almost insurmountable. CTA, they're chasing a guy in the red lane. In the last few minutes, there was a shooting on the CTA. There was a carjacking on 79th. Very dangerous.
George Bliss has been monitoring Chicago police radio traffic since he was in high school more than 40 years ago. He created a computer program that helps him track traffic on no fewer than 16 police zones, covering 3 million city residents.
Just 10 years ago, if you were robbed on State Street, somebody took your wallet or your iPhone, the police were there right away. Not now, because the backlog is so enormous.
The backlog has grown as the number of officers has shrunk. In 2018, Chicago had more than 13,200 sworn officers. Today, that number has dropped to 11,580, a decline of nearly 13%.
You had a systematic beatdown of, in general, nationwide, right, of policing, making police officers out to be the bad guys. And what that did was it made it extremely difficult to hire.
We got a lot of people detained over here.
When looters swarmed a stop freight train in mid-October, police appeared outmatched. Only 6 arrests reported, mainly misdemeanors. The train heist occurred on the border of 2 police districts that together have 170 fewer officers than they did in 2019. John Garrido is a retired CPD lieutenant who says the bad guys are keenly aware of how thin cops are stretched.
They've come to learn that we can only do so much, number one. And number two, they see a small number of officers arrive, and they know there's more of them than us. They're hoping that they're just the ones that don't get caught.
Shots fired, United Center, 1901 West Madison, says there's 4 to 8 loud reports.
When a suburban teen was robbed, shot, and killed outside a rap concert at the United Center in October, the police response was quick and forceful. But listen to what happened to other calls in the area. They go into backlog, unanswered.
And then Josh Finning and 12 in the backlog. A robbery just occurred. Racing and Grand, battery in progress. Fulton and Damon had a mental health disturbance. Madison and Hoyne, domestic battery. North Wolcott had a criminal damage property in progress. 122 West Randolph, also coming out as a disturbance. Battery in progress. 1633 West Madison, got a mental health disturbance. 2045 West Jackson, auto accident, property damage. 1622 West Jackson, got an EMS ticket. 1314 South Troop, battery victim injured. 1330 South Troop. Had an assault in progress, 1900 South Troop.
It's already going to be taxing on the district to respond to something like that in general. But then when you add to it the shortage, so we're not able to put up rapid response cars. We're not able to have these extra cars out there to cover that gap there.
A city inspector general's report last year found tracking response times is tricky. That's because nearly half the calls to 911 for police response did not include information with an officer's actual arrival time at the scene.
We cannot improve what we cannot measure. There's not enough data to know how long response times really are.
Amidst a city budget crisis, WGN Investigates has learned the Police Training Academy is not holding classes for new recruits in October or November, but one is scheduled for December. You may remember the campaign promise from Mayor Brandon Johnson.
We need 200 more detectives because we have to solve crime. One of the greatest deterrents to crime is to make sure we're catching people. And that's why on day one, we're going to move towards promoting and hiring 200 more detectives.
Fast forward a year and a half into his administration.
We will get to 200 detectives by the end of this year. I made that promise.
He better hurry. City data show there were 1,102 detectives the month he took office. Now there are just 2 more.
There's a lot going on in the city, that's for sure.
For Scanner Hawk George Bliss, the slow response leads to a sense of insecurity.
I'm a lifelong Chicagoan like you. I was involved in this city politically and economically and donating to charities as long as my family can remember. And I'm considering moving. My wife takes the train to work every day. I'm worried. I'm worried.
Those are all jobs sitting at 11 in the backlog, so okay, clear.
City Hall and the police department point out that murders and shootings are down to their lowest level since 2019, while homicide clearance rates are up. As for the number of detectives, the mayor's spokesperson responding to our reporting with a bit of wordsmithing. She said there will be 200 new detectives by the end of this year, so promise fulfilled. But of course, that ignores the fact that given attrition, there aren't 200 more detectives, as Brandon Johnson promised during the campaign. Ben Bradley, WGN Investigator.
They've added 2 detectives. I guess a bunch left. If a bunch left and they add more, I mean, anyway. So, yeah, that's terrifying. That's one of the reasons why I moved out of Houston police response area for that specific reason, because I would call the police and they wouldn't come. And I can't live like that. My anxiety doesn't allow me to live like that. Even though I have a large dog and I have pepper spray and a gun and all those things, I don't want to live like that. I want to know that when I call the police, they're going to come. All right. So a 23-year-old has been, that's not what I wanted. No, I didn't say that one. A 23-year-old has been arrested 8 times for stalking college girls. What the hell? And of course, I don't think stalking is taken that seriously when it comes to the court system. It's not like people go away for years and years when it comes to stalking until something worse happens.
Well, Lauren, this case involves a 23-year-old man who previously served prison time for targeting and threatening SMU students. Ian Smith was released earlier this year, but SMU police say he is back at it. Smith was arrested last week for harassment, a misdemeanor charge. On October 17th, an SMU student reported Smith was repeatedly reaching out to her through Instagram messaging and video calling. The student said Smith found her on Snapchat as well. An SMU detective called Smith and told him to stop, but Smith allegedly continued contacting her for the next 2 days. Campus police say Smith has a lengthy pattern of this kind of behavior. In the past 3 years, he's been charged and convicted for harassment, stalking, obstruction or retaliation, and online impersonation. Shortly after completing his prison sentence earlier this year, Smith was accused of harassing a female SMU student in March. While he was out on bond for that charge, he was booked into the Dallas County Jail yesterday for allegedly harassing another female student in this current case. One expert says police will need to be careful assembling the evidence supporting a harassment charge.
And there's some degree of First Amendment protection regarding offensive contacts, even on social media. So the law enforcement agencies involved would have to kind of scrutinize each contact and what actually is happening to be able to put together a prosecutable case.
Attorney Russell Wilson is not involved in this case. Smith bonded out of Dallas County Jail yesterday. He's never been enrolled as a student at SMU. Police here are telling us Smith is prohibited from being on campus. Nearby Highland Park police say they are aware of Smith and are keeping a lookout for him.
Well, I'm glad that y'all are looking out for him. That's very helpful. So he was arrested 8 times in 3 years, and they said that he served a prison sentence. But how long was the prison sentence that he was able to get arrested 8 times in 3 years and be out for that? So clearly, it's just not something that is easy to prosecute. You need to have, sadly, good evidence or death threats. Yeah, it's horrible. It's terrifying, that poor young girl. So speaking of college students, so some college students in the San Antonio area are scared after a camera caught a half-clothed man trying to enter apartments. always lock your front door. Always lock your front door. I always check my locks before I go to bed. I check locks constantly, but that's my own issue. But one time I saw someone try to open my apartment door. Like I saw the knob move. But yeah, I don't know why. I never knew who it was. But yeah, I always lock my door. If you can have doorbell cams, definitely get those to try to protect yourself, especially if you're a woman that's living alone. If you can, get a dog. And if not, then use Alexa. Alexa, you can use the security feature and you can have a dog sound play and stuff like that.
A college student says she's living in fear after this.
On camera, a man naked from the waist down in the middle of the night. It shows him appearing to try and pry the student's door open. The man is also seen trying to get into at least another apartment.
And now the victim is left frustrated, saying police released the man without any charges. KENS 5 reporter Hannah Tita has the story, all new at 10.
It's terrifying. I'm young. I live on my own.
A San Antonio college student is shaken after she says a man tried to enter her apartment while she was asleep. It happened just before 5 a.m. on Sunday at the Dalian 151 Apartments on Ingram Road.
I hear my door rattle, and I second guessed it. I heard it again.
Video shows a man wearing only a shirt turning the doorknob several times, then pulling on her door. Minutes later, she opened the door and captured this.
Were you just trying to open my door?
Oh my God.
Cell phone video shows the man, seemingly aware he was naked, attempting to cover his genitals. A separate video also captured the man trying to enter another apartment in the building. The college student who called police tells us the man is staying at an apartment just a few doors down from her.
And the female that lives there opened the door, claimed that he was asleep and that he was sleepwalking. So they stated that they couldn't do anything.
She says the two officers left without arresting the man on any charges.
I had plain video proof of him fully trying to break my door. And they just told me, do whatever you need to do to protect yourself.
The woman, now looking over her shoulder every time she leaves her home, is calling on police to do more.
And sleepwalking or not, that's still putting someone in danger, because if he would have came in, who's to say what he would have done?
And the San Antonio Police Department is looking into the incident for us. Meanwhile, this young woman says she fears for her safety and is ready to move out, but claims her apartment management isn't letting her out of her lease. We did reach out to Greystar Property Management for comment and are waiting to hear back. Reporting live.
What the fuck? He didn't get arrested because he said he was sleepwalking? Y'all. So, like, basically, you can do almost anything and just not get arrested. You can walk around naked, you can stalk people, you can break into people's homes, you can do all sorts of crazy shit. That's literally insane. So I'm not sure if you guys saw in the news that the Austin area had an attack at a school, and sadly, a student was killed. Somebody brought a knife to school and stabbed one of the other students. So that, excuse me, the student that killed the other student is arrested, is behind bars. I don't know if this one made national news the way that other things do, but, you know, stabbing or shooting, I feel like stabbing is much more personal and just a really horrific thing to do to somebody.
CBS Austin News begins with breaking news.
Do you typically feel safe? In Manor, not really, mainly because this isn't the first time something like this happened, but it's definitely one of the first ones that I've witnessed up close.
We're continuing our live coverage of breaking news in Manor tonight, where a Manor senior high school student is dead after being stabbed by another student on campus today. Our live team coverage continues tonight. CBS Austin's Andrew Freeman is getting reaction about what happened from students. We'll start, though, with CBS Austin's Abigail Velez, who is near the school's campus. Now, Abigail, we just got an update from Maynard Police. What are we learning?
Well, just minutes ago, Maynard Police tells us the suspect in this stabbing is 18-year-old Mac Brown Maba Mombanwe. Police say he is accused of stabbing 18-year-old Darren Loving in the chest earlier today. Police say Mombanwe is now charged with murder. Now, over the last few hours, we've seen crime scene investigators and medical examiners clear out of this entrance area of the high school in Northeast Maynard, but I can imagine investigators are still inside of the school trying to piece together what led up to the stabbing that left Darren Loving dead today. Now, the information that we have is still limited as the investigation is ongoing, but here's what we know so far. Maynard Police, Maynard ISD Police, and Austin Travis County EMS responded to a call around 12:45 today for reports that a student had been stabbed during a fight. EMS says the victim is a minor. We now know that is Mr. Loving, and they tried resuscitating him, but he died at the scene, unfortunately. Now, we spoke with students today who tell me they're still processing this tragedy.
I felt honestly really shocked. I thought this was a really surreal experience. I never expected any of this to be happening, especially at our school.
Now, in tonight's update, Maynard Police say the suspect is in the Travis County Jail tonight facing a murder charge. The department's Criminal Investigation Division is also investigating. The district released students early from school today. They also canceled classes for tomorrow and Thursday. Walt.
Thank you, Abigail. We're trying to get more reaction tonight. This happened at Maynard Senior High School, which is located on Farm to Market Road 973 right here next to Lusitano Street. The school is about 15 miles east of downtown Austin. Our live team coverage continues tonight with CBS Austin's Andrew Freeman, who has been working to get reaction from students and parents as the students were getting picked up today. What are they saying?
Well, I spoke with students who say they frankly don't feel safe. And while they've seen or heard of other fights on campus, this level of violence is completely new. Jeremiah Henry says he was in the cafeteria when the stabbing happened and describes the scene as chaotic. Henry says he saw the student allegedly responsible for the stabbing being chased by 3 other students who were yelling at him to stop.
The best friend of the guy that was on the ground, she was outside, so she didn't know what was happening, but somebody went outside and told her, and so she rushed inside and she saw him right there on the ground and nobody was over there. And then she started yelling, screaming, and hitting the floor and the walls.
Senior Felicia Horton says while she only heard about the stabbing, she knew the victim, and it's left her feeling uneasy.
I just think we need teachers, students, need a lot of counseling. I think that students need to have more sympathy for this situation.
Both seniors I spoke with say they knew both the victim, Darren Loving, and the suspect, Mac Brown Mabonwe. Right now, there are no classes scheduled for tomorrow or Thursday, but Henry says he hopes the district gives them even more time to process what's happened. Reporting live in Maynard, Andrew Freeman, CBS Austin News.
And I would hope that they would close the school for a day or so after something like that. That's pretty traumatic for kids to go through. That's horrible. And what are you fighting about in school that is, you're going to kill somebody? That I don't understand. I don't get it. So let's see. So when I was going through videos about Halloween or Halloween stuff, a lot of vandals, a lot of people, and this is all over the country, everywhere, Washington, Denver, Ohio. I don't know what is wrong with people. Why? What is wrong with the decorations? Why do you hate decorations? I don't understand. And also a lot of shootings, sadly. A lot of shootings at Halloween parties that happened the past weekend. So I don't even know what to say anymore about all that. It's the same thing over and over. But so China and Shanghai they're cracking down on Halloween costumes. They're cracking down on Halloween costumes because they don't want people doing political satire costumes like no Winnie the Pooh and stuff like that. So, in America, we can be whoever we want for Halloween. In China, not so much.
Now it's time for our weekly Asia View segment. We're heading today to China to speak with our correspondent, Yenna Lee, who joins us from there. Yenna, almost sounds funny, this first bit at the start, but there's pretty sinister behind it. People there dressed up in Halloween costumes this weekend, but they were then taken away to police stations in Shanghai. Tell us exactly what happened.
Well, police in downtown Shanghai rounded up people wearing costumes and Halloween makeup, took them down to the police station and told them to remove their get-ups. A friend of mine was even given a black T-shirt to change into. In the name of which law or decree? I haven't actually been able to find that out. There's been no official public statement about a ban. Perhaps this falls under the very wide umbrella of public security or public order. It appears that local police are worried about a repeat of last year's festivities. Some of the costumes then poked fun at authorities with, for example, people dressed in full hazmat gear or a massive COVID-19 swab. Clearly, these are jabs at policy decisions that took place. You'll remember that Shanghai was under a full lockdown during the pandemic. Some people even went further and dressed as security cameras or even Winnie the Pooh, really veering into political satire. It certainly appears that authorities want to avoid this, and they've been rounding up anyone who has a big costume, even the most innocuous, apolitical ones as well. And they also set up barricades in some parts of the city centre where partygoers had planned to gather. It is really rather quite interesting that they'd go this far. Chinese youth often like dressing up. We live in a country where it's really easy to get creative with costumes. It really doesn't cost much to order what you want online and do the whole get up every year. In short, you could say that this is in part a crackdown against foreign festivals. Halloween is considered to be a Western festival. It's also a crackdown in part against public displays of political views. But for many young people here, they might feel like this is just a crackdown against fun.
Meanwhile, China's equivalent to Black Friday is taking place on November the 11th. Sales have just started, but one e-commerce giant already landing itself in hot water. Why is this?
Well, Jingdong or JD.com is a huge player in the e-commerce industry. And this time of year is extremely important because Double 11 or a Singles Day sales have already started. Think of it as a Black Friday on steroids, if you will. JD used comedian Yang Li as one of their brand ambassadors this year, which led to a social media backlash. Now, the stand-up comedian is known for her jokes about average, underwhelming men, and she's seen as a feminist, and some male customers who take offense at her comedic content started a boycott of JD at this critical time, which led to the company to drop her ad campaigns. What you have to know is that it's not the first time this sort of thing happens to Yang Li. Her participation in ads for Mercedes-Benz and Intel were also criticized. So she's been losing quite a few deals because of her jokes. That said,
I don't care so much about that part. I cared more about the costumes. Yeah, so that sucks. They can't wear anything in China. Yeah, so if you Google China's leader and Winnie the Pooh, they can't even have Winnie the Pooh anything at all. The movies banned all that stuff. So there is a Quora question that says, why is China's leader referred to as Winnie the Pooh? So if you Google it, there's lots of explanations as to why. So part of it is that they say he resembles Winnie the Pooh, but yeah, you can go in a deep dive in Google on that if you really want to. So Nova Scotia. So we look at China, people can't wear anything. Nova Scotia, some people thought it was a good idea to dress up as the KKK. So if you wear a sheet, you can be a ghost. You just can't have a hood because no.
The costume controversy out of Cape Breton continues this evening. The leaders of all three major provincial parties are condemning what happened. And the municipality's newly elected mayor says more resources are needed to give teeth to anti-hate legislation in the face of what he says has been growing intolerance in his community. And a warning, viewers may find the images disturbing in this next story. CTV's Ryan McDonald reports.
People across the country are still talking about what happened at a Halloween dance at the North Sydney Firefighters Club Saturday night.
It's just disheartening. I had all kinds of feelings, anger.
Jason McLean is African Nova Scotian and a Cape Bretoner. He's also the son of a retired volunteer firefighter. So the fact people wore Ku Klux Klan costumes at a fireman's club event, even though they're said to have no association with the fire department, hurts on multiple levels.
This is really an issue that needs to be tackled by the CBRM because none of this is happening in a vacuum.
In this last campaign, I faced homophobic slurs.
The municipality's new mayor-elect says he's seen an uptick in racist and intolerant behavior in the community. Nova Scotia's Office of Equity and Anti-Racism wants municipalities and villages to adopt anti-hate plans by April the 1st, something Cecil Clark says he'll do, but he has questions about enforcement.
But also it's going to be a sit down with the province to resource it. How do we provide our law enforcement officials? How do we have equity, diversity, inclusion programs that can provide proper public education? So we have to do more than just have words on paper.
All three major provincial party leaders weighed in on social media about this. PC leader Tim Houston saying, should the costumed culprits be found to be provincial employees, they will be fired.
Well, it would be very hard to, I think, pursue it as an actual hate crime.
Dalhousie law professor Wayne McKay isn't sure something like this could be punished under the criminal code.
There has to be a clear intent to cause damage to specific groups. And I think that would be difficult to prove here.
But he says civil law might see it differently.
Human rights legislation may well regard this as discriminatory speech that violates the Human Rights Act. And I think that's more likely a case where there might be some traction.
Meantime, North Sydney's fire chief says the department has received threats about what happened, adding that they are looking into education for its members in the wake of the incident. Ryan McDonald.
Education. They have to re-educate not to wear. Okay. I guess you have to say something, right? You shouldn't have to be re-educated to do something like that. That's a little crazy. Totally insane. Yeah, no. Yeah. Anyway, so let me fine. I'm going to just play probably one of the videos with the vandals because there's so many and I don't have that much time. So Halloween decorations hit by vandals in Hillard. We got Denver. Where else? I know I got somewhere else. Oh, did I remove the other ones? I might have. All right. So Washington. Let's go to Washington.
Well, a Southwest Washington woman is not giving up after vandals slashed her Halloween decorations for a second time. We told you about the first attack just last week. In fact, it was Libby Dowsett who told us about it. She joins us again from the neighborhood in Orchards with an update. Libby.
Tim, they appear to be getting more brazen. And once again, this latest attack was recorded by the homeowner here, by the neighbor, and by the vandals themselves. The Dudash family actually heard the second attack go down.
We hear a pop. My husband goes, "The decorations!"
Oh, they did it again. But the vandals were already gone. In a clip from a neighbor's point of view, it appears the young men had a plan.
All of a sudden, at the same time, they start running. One's videoing it, and the other two go in for the attack. They were in and out in under 30 seconds. We've been on edge a little bit, waiting for another something to happen, and it did.
Dudash believes she spotted a suspicious Mercedes SUV in Wednesday's video. It was October 8th when vandals first slashed Dudash's inflatables and those of her two neighbors. A family in Vancouver also lost $2,000 worth of decorations after vandals hit there. The Clark County Sheriff's Office says they still need a plate number or some kind of ID to go on.
We're always going to repair. We're going to put it up. It's not going to stop us, but, it's a lot.
What is that called?
Oh, that's a piece of the skeleton.
Dudash wants the vandals to realize who they're really hurting, the kids.
They want to know, where are the bad boys at? Are they going to come back? So it's very upsetting for them.
And upsetting for neighbors who cherish the decorations at the corner of Southeast 103rd Way every Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas.
We're not giving up. We can't let them win. Someone's going to recognize these kids.
And the skeleton really took a hit this time. These are pieces of its shoulder and neck. Here's an arm you can see, and you can see they bandaged him up there. So about $100 worth of parts coming in to repair that guy. And Sophie wants them all dressed up for Christmas. So again, she's not giving up.
Glad.
Yeah, that skeleton is not cheap. And I looked at getting inflatables, but yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to play this video too, but I'm going to speed it up.
A string of Halloween displays were destroyed over the weekend in Hilliard, and now Hilliard police and residents are searching for the culprit. We thank you for staying with us at 5:30. I'm Jared Smalley.
And I'm Sarah Johnson in for Jennifer Bullock. NBC4 Samantha Bender went to the neighborhood where it all went down, and she spoke with residents.
Residents are shocked because they say this is a fairly quiet neighborhood and they just want to know why this happened. They spend lots of time and money each year putting out these displays for the kids. They say it's disappointing to see the complete lack of regard for their property. Brian Smith went to bed Friday night with his Halloween display intact, but woke up Saturday to an unpleasant surprise. Alerts from his camera showed unwanted visitors at his home on Krigsby Boulevard just after midnight.
Saw a couple of people running through our yard, tripping over the wires over there. And I saw the one ghost go down, and I can see briefly in the shadows another person over here damaging these guys right here, knocking them down.
Just down the road, one of Lillian Connor's inflatables also hit.
It just had this big gaping hole, big enough for me to climb inside of it if I wanted to.
That's when Connors took to Facebook to alert others and quickly learned she wasn't alone.
And then I was like, oh no, not the Dragon House, because everyone has seen it, everybody knows it, loves it. And I was like, no. And then I learned it was hers, and I was just like, this is terrible.
One of the most well-known displays in the area also fell victim, the Dragon House.
We had several of them that they had ripped the inflatables out of the anchors that we put in, and or also had stabbed, with a sharp object.
Carrie Burchick and her husband have put the display up for the last 15 years. It's become a neighborhood gathering place in the community. This is the first time they had to take it down. She says she's sad for the kids. A sign now sits in their yard poking fun at what happened.
That's a sad piece that somebody was just being so malicious that they didn't care about other people's property.
All three have filed police reports. They say they intend to press charges if the culprit is found.
I know all three of us have said that we won't let it go if we find out who it is. We'll pursue it.
These are just some inflatables. And, it's just going to make me want to go bigger and better next year. So bring it.
Connors tells me she and her husband got married on Halloween, so they have a tradition of gifting each other large yard decorations each year. Their sandworm inflatable that was destroyed was their 7-year anniversary present. As for Burchick, she says they will have their Halloween decorations back on display on Halloween for the kids. Police tell me there have been increased patrol and officers will be dispersed throughout the city on Halloween night to assist with trick or treat.
I think that's kind of cute. They got married on Halloween and that they give each other presents, like yard inflatables for Halloween. Yeah, I have more videos like that, but we don't have time. I literally could have done an entire show of just those videos. So a needle was found in Halloween candy. At a trunk or treat event. Those events are supposed to be safer, but it's really no different than trick-or-treating unless you're, like, putting the candy through an X-ray machine. You unfortunately have to check the candy, and most of the time, this stuff is just fear-mongering, but this actually happened. And this video, I'm gonna speed up too, because I have some paranormal videos I wanna show.
RCMP of Newfoundland and Labrador is warning parents after a needle was discovered inside a piece of candy. Buried inside a bright red piece of licorice, the needle was nearly ingested by a child who received the candy at a Halloween event. It was held at an A&W and called Trunk or Treat in the town of Bay Roberts. Parents are asked to check all treats kids received at the event. And joining me now is Shannon Eames, constable with the Toronto Police Service. Constable Eames, good to have you with us. Now, on Halloween night, witches, goblins, superheroes, and the like will be hitting the streets. What do you expect from Halloween night?
We don't need safety tips. Yeah, okay, that's good. Next! I don't have time, but yeah, so this trunk or treat event had a needle in it. Next! So I want to show you guys, this video is an older one, but it supposedly is a ghost on Gettysburg Field. Stop touching your microphone, dude. Jesus. Was that the ghost? Did we see it already? Did it happen? Are you guys going to circle it? Because that would help. Okay. I guess it happened. I think I saw it. Did you guys see it? I think I did. All right. So, there are paranormal investigators that you guys saw it. Okay. Paranormal investigators are they were looking for evidence in Galveston. Galveston is south of Houston, and they have World War II vessels and stuff there. So apparently they found some ghosts there.
We do have situations where there are these little bursts of light. We've had employees that have talked about seeing people in Victorian clothing from the 1900s walking past.
In the past year and a half, Reese Young has heard and seen some strange things. And it's not just her. Over the weekend, photojournalist Ryan Phillips and I spent time below inside the USS Stuart and submarine the Kavala. We were joined by multiple teams of professional paranormal investigators who brought with them equipment that we didn't completely understand. But from what we could see, something was trying to make contact.
People have seen apparitions of sailors walking down the corridor.
Jen Keel owns the local tour company Spooky Galveston. She paired up with the museum this year to open the vessels to visitors and paranormal experts to try to make contact with the World War II sailors themselves.
The kamikaze plane actually came into the side of the Stuart. And when that happened, a gentleman was beheaded on the deck.
As we witnessed during our visit, it appeared other ghosts may have been reaching out as well.
Oh,
Hi.
he waved. He's waving back there.
This was once a catch-all for bodies during the 1900 hurricane.
Reese Young says the paranormal weekends aboard the vessels have been a hit.
The interest in the macabre is just not going away.
And it's brought help to the Pelican Island Museum that she says has been in a struggle for survival since the pandemic.
We lost half of our summer this year when you start talking about money and income. And then on top of it, we got hit with a hurricane.
The ghost hunts have sold out since they started, and it's generated a lot of buzz about the somewhat forgotten museum.
It doesn't just carry over into the ghost tours. They're seeing larger numbers coming in throughout the day as well.
A lot of people who would say, oh, it's just a naval museum. And then they go, oh, you've got something spooky going on. You've got paranormal going on.
Although we didn't see any ghosts on our visit, we've been assured they're here, just waiting for the right person to bring them out.
Even though these men left, they have returned after death.
From Pelican Island, I'm Matt Doherty, KHOU 11.
I've never seen that computer that was like, you know, showing lines. I've never seen that before. Okay, so we're gonna do the Gettysburg one again. Let me make sure that I'm doing at normal speed. That also would probably help. That other video was sped up, but I almost couldn't tell. They must talk really slow. All right. Okay, so let's see. Tell me if you guys see the ghost. This shit's kind of driving me nuts because he's fucking touching the mic on the phone. Stop touching it. Stop it. I don't think you could rub your microphone more. Okay, yeah, I saw it. But I don't know if that was a ghost or something on his damn windshield. Yeah, like, I think I saw it. It was... Yeah, there. That's the only thing I could think. That's, yeah, by the cannon, I think. But that could have been... That's not, like, the best ghost video ever. That's, like, barely... That could be... anything. Aw, thank you, Lisa. You're so sweet. I love starting my day with you guys, too. It puts me in a good mood. And I get to hang out with the only friends I have, which are on the internet. All right. Let's see. What else? I got not much time left. What else? All right. So I am going to show some Halloween decorations that are on Hampton Road. It's going to be a drone view.
It's spooky season. Halloween is on Thursday.
But we're going to
got a spider here, Steph. Well, front porches and lawns across Hampton Roads are all decked out with decorations.
Drone 10 shows you some of the Halloween holiday displays.
Yeah, this is what my neighborhood looks like. Yeah, my neighborhood looks like this. I don't really know how I turn that music down a little bit. Not very. Yeah, so everybody in my neighborhood goes all out, and my house does not look like that. The neighborhood looks pretty cool. I hope the kids have a lot of fun. I wonder how much those decorations cost.
Great job there.
Thank you, Drone 10.
Okay, yeah,
So,
that is it. I don't need to hear you talking, reporters. All right, let's see what else I can play before. Okay. So I have a Montana Paranormal Society video, and then I have one fun video, and we'll be done.
As we near the end of October, things like ghosts and ghouls may have crossed your mind. But for the Bozeman Paranormal Society, these things are top of mind all year long. Elise Adams founded the Bozeman Paranormal Society in 2013. Since then, she has visited some of Montana's spookiest haunts, including the Hangman's Building in Virginia City, the Livingston Depot, and the Dumas Brothel in Butte, where she tells me she had one of her creepiest experiences.
It's very haunted. From head to toe, I felt fingers and fingernails. They were like dead cold fingers and fingernails. And it was like almost like a Halloween movie.
Over the years, she has learned that the level of scare factor has a lot to do with the type of spirit.
Try to veer people away from negative spirits.
Adams thinks whether a spirit is positive or negative in death has a lot to do with the person they were in life. She says it also influences how they interact with the living. And when those interactions go awry, her group is here to help.
I love going to people's homes and getting them answers. And trying to even just reassure them that everything is a ghost, and making sure that they feel safe in their home.
Adams says ghost investigations are a multi-step process, beginning with interviews of current and prior property owners and extensive research before taking special equipment, including dowsing rods, thermal imaging cameras, and a ghost box communication device into the house to determine whether a spirit is present and whether it needs help being passed on. Over the years, the Bozeman Paranormal Society has conducted dozens of these investigations.
During winter and fall, we get a lot of calls.
Of course, not everyone is a believer.
Some people are just skeptical because they want the scientific parts of it.
Adams says a healthy amount of skepticism is actually key to being an effective ghost hunter. But if you don't believe, she says that's okay too. Maybe taking part in a ghost tour or an investigation with Bozeman's Paranormal Society might just change your mind. For NBC.
It better if I hire somebody to come investigate my house and they come with just those two little rod things, I'm not gonna be happy. Okay, so I have one last video. It's not an animal one. Just gonna have some fun, and I need to make sure it's. I'm probably gonna get copyrighted because of the music, but that's okay. I'm not monetized, so it doesn't matter. All right, so we are going to end today with Michael Myers telling us jokes.
Good morning.
Oh boy. Gonna do some jokes. Okay. Why was Freddy Krueger late for work? Traffic was a nightmare on Elm Street. That's funny.
Very PG.
Yeah. Okay.
Very PG.
Yeah.
How does a ghost get organized?
Good question.
It writes a taboo list.
Boy.
Man, this is just like having kindergartners again.
Oh.
Oh.
What's that?
Oh no.
Oh no.
No, it's all right, Michael. Keep
Go
moving.
back. Next verse.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you call a tattoo on a vampire's lower back? I'm
Stamp. That was the best one yet. Yeah.
Well, this guy's got a better sense of humor.
He does. All right, Paul, you take this one.
Who is Dracula's favorite actress?
Oh boy.
Oh.
Oh.
The fire went out behind.
Nicole
Kidman. Nice.
Nice.
Boy.
Okay.
All right. What do you call a meal delivery service for zombies? Hello, Flesh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hello, Fresh.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, well, you got to explain it.
You know,
I think the scary part is that's actually part of our building. This is not.
Stop reading my mind. I know where that is.
And
It's
the smoke may
disturbing.
or may not be real.
Yeah. All right. Why were the mummies horny? It's a natural response to pheromones.
Ooh.
All right.
What do you call it when everyone shows up dressed in a ghost costume at a Halloween party? Oh.
It's the cue card reunion. It's really
Oh,
that was good.
All right. Okay. Here we go. Why can't Frankenstein get his bride pregnant? I'm afraid to get the answer to this one.
Robin, read the answer.
No. All right. We got to cut him off. We're cutting him off.
All right.
Good morning.
That was so funny. That was silly. Love that. So I'm going to play you guys my current ringtone. Hopefully you guys can hear it. Let's see. This is my current ringtone. So it's the remixed version of Halloween. Yeah, I love horror movies, especially the older ones like, Michael Myers and Jason and stuff like that. I don't like too much of the newer ones that are all realistic and stuff. But anyway, I think that was a good video to end today on. I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate you guys being here every morning and so early. I love you guys. I hope that you guys have a great day. I love Halloween. I'm going to be I'm decorating for Thanksgiving. I love decorating for stuff other than Christmas. I have Christmas stuff too. Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I wish I would totally do this to my real hair if I could. But that would cost a lot of money and be too hard to maintain. So I will be auburn instead. Missy, Lisa, Tash, Charmaine, all y'all, I appreciate you guys being here. Tokyo, I'm glad that you look forward to watching. It's not creepy. Like if you sent me a text message and said that and I wasn't a streamer, yeah, that would be scary. I hope everybody has a safe and happy Halloween. I hope that nobody gets toilet papered or egged, and that you don't run out of candy and all if you have trick-or-treaters. And I hope everybody enjoys the day. I love you all. I will see you again tomorrow. And thanks for being here. Bye, y'all.